What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Anthony and I've mostly been documenting my current F10 build, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today, is adding to that. So today, as you can probably tell from the title of this video, we're going to be swapping my OEM side skirts with the Msport side skirts. My car didn't come with them from factory. And when I was doing research on how to remove the side skirts on my F10, I realized there's actually not a single good video talking about how to do this swap or how to even remove a side skirt off your F10. There's a lot of videos talking about how to do it on different BMW models, but there isn't any good ones that I could find for the F10. So I figured I'd make this video not only just me installing the side skirts, but also an in-depth DIY for the F10 chassis on how to replace and swap your OEM side skirts for Msport side skirts. So with that, let's jump right into it. Alright, so as you can see, I already have the passenger side skirt off of the car. I wanted to figure out how to remove this before I went and tried to film anything, just so I was pretty familiar with the process and I can kind of talk about with you guys exactly how I was able to do it. But I'm going to throw up a screenshot of sort of a picture of just like this, talking about where all the screws are, every little screw that you need to remove and all the like clips and stuff. So go ahead and pause the video right here, and I will briefly talk about all of the hardware and stuff you have to remove, and then on the other side of the car I'll go more in depth and I'll get under the car and film under there to show you guys how to remove this thing. So in order to remove the passenger side skirt off of your F10, there were, at least in my case, 8 of these 8mm screws. If you look right here, I kind of orientated them where they would go on the side skirt. So there were 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then 3 at the front. And then with the 8 screws, there's going to be 3 of these little clips, like screw clips, that you have to remove. Now, one thing I did find, and I was able to read about on the forums when I was researching how to remove this, because again, there's not any good videos. They mentioned that there is a hidden clip, which in fact there is right here. This third one, that is the 4th hole down on this side skirt, there is a hidden clip that you can't really see because there's under panels under here. I don't know if you can see that, but as you're unscrewing these screws and after you get those clips out, it looks like this will just start popping off, but you'll see as you start popping it off from the front, which is how you should probably do it, that you'll kind of get stuck right around here, right somewhere in the middle of the driver's door. And all you have to do is kind of lean this down and you'll see that there's this hidden clip right here. So just be careful of that. Once you have that out, you can start popping the side skirt out from the bottom, and then very gently from the side here, and then from the top. I'll show you that on the other side. But in my case, there was only the 8 screws and the 3 clips. Of course, that 1 hidden clip. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the Msport one onto this side, and then I'll go more in depth with how to remove the side skirt on the driver's side. And just like that, the passenger side skirt is all bolted up and put back on the car. There's a little blemish right here I'm gonna have to fix when I eventually wrap this car, but for the price I got these for, you can't complain. So anyways, we're gonna move to the driver's side. I have to drop this side of the car and lift that side up, but I will be going much more in depth on that side and actually showing you underneath the car so you know what to look for when you do this yourself. So here we go. Alright, so the driver's side is up and I'm going to start taking these screws out, but I wanted to show you guys. So right now we're at the back of the car, and this is where I started taking everything off on the other side as well. If you look, there's a screw here, a screw down here, then there's the clips I was mentioning. Let me see if I can get a better angle. One clip there, one clip there, And then again, this side also has the 8 bolts that run down to the front of the car. And somewhere here in the middle, I'll show you when I get to that part, but somewhere here in the middle, about here in between the, I want to say after the 1, 2, 3rd screw, in between the 3rd and the 4th, there's going to be a hidden clip under here that we'll be able to get to once we take these screws out and can drop this little panel down. I'll show you that when I get there. Alright, so I have all the screws out from underneath. I'm going to show you guys that hidden clip that I was telling you about. If I had to guess, it is in between the 3rd and 4th bolt from the front. So if you count when you remove them, if you look down here, 1, 2, 3, and then here's the 4th one over here. It sits about probably right here. Let me show you guys. If you look, kind of hard to see, but do you see it's underneath this panel right here? And it's the same clip as the 2 that are back here. So once you get that out, you can start popping the side skirt out. I'll show you that when I get there. All right, now that we got that hidden clip removed, we can go ahead and start popping the side skirt off. You're gonna wanna have the doors open. I'm gonna go ahead and start popping this off, and once I get it popped out to about the door line, then I'll open the door and I'll start unclipping it from there. So the way I did this on the other side, it's kind of grab it from right here, and you can tell it's already kind of loose from the bottom now that you got the screws and the clips out. So you just want to pull, and don't worry, it seems like you might break something, but it's kind of designed that way to just snap in. So you gotta kind of give it some force to pop it out. But that is something that got behind there at some point. But if you look, the tab is not broken. It's a little scuffed up, but that's how it is when you pop it out. So you just kind of continue popping it out and pulling it from the bottom. But like I said, once you get to about here, you got to open the door, otherwise you aren't going to be able to pull the rest of it out. Both of the doors up. And continue popping it out. Just like that. And you're just going to work your way down to the back of the car, just unclipping it carefully. And once you eventually get it unclipped, it'll just pretty much fall off of the car. Alright, let me see here. One thing to take note of when you are taking your side skirt off is there's a little indent here. I don't know if you could see that very good, but for the rear door when it opens and closes, and when you take it out, this side skirt has to basically just pop out and then it could drop down. And so it might be worth taping this little thing up right here, this little section, and maybe even taping right here at the corner, because if you look, let me see if I can get it to focus, there's not a lot of room down there, and you can definitely scratch up that little section, which unfortunately the side skirts, the Msport side skirts I got from the dismantler did do that, so I'll have to fix that too when I eventually wrap this car. But just word of caution when you're doing it, maybe tape that up so you don't scratch it like my other ones are. I'm going to continue taking the rest of the side skirt off, and I'll show you guys when I have it undone. Alright, so the side skirt is off of the car. I want to show you guys again, starting from the front of the car. There's going to be 1, 2, 3 screws. Then between the 3rd and the 4th, there's going to be a hidden clip underneath that panel I was showing you guys about. Then another screw, 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 and then these little holes. You can almost tell where the screws go. That hole looks different than this hole. That one and this one, in between the little jack point, are the clips. And then back here, there's going to be 2 more screws that go in. So it's mirrored on the passenger side. Again, I'll throw up that photo that I showed you guys earlier in the video. And I'm going to go ahead and toss the other side skirt on, and I'll show you guys when the car's back on the ground. Alright, one more thing I want to show you guys real quick before I throw it all back together is when you're putting the side skirt in, pay attention to how the side skirt sits underneath the panel down here. I don't know if you could see what I'm talking about, but that panel that you had to pull down to remove the clip over here, the hidden clip, the side skirt goes underneath that, and then you bolt the panel over it. So it will go panel, then side skirt, and then obviously you screw through that. So just be careful when you're putting it back in that you kind of get it underneath first and then put it up and clip it all in. Otherwise you risk this thing hanging and potentially falling out and hitting the ground while you're driving. All right, car's back on the ground. Everything is installed and put back together. These side skirts look really good, man. It's a really cool little mod. They're pretty subtle. They stick out a little more, and they have kind of like a flare to them. These like Msport ones, the OEM non-Msport ones are just flat and they're kind of boring, but this was a pretty easy video. Hopefully the DIY will help somebody. I can't believe there wasn't a single DIY for this, but anyways, looks really good, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. This was a fun one. All right, I think that about wraps this video up. You know, you guys just saw me crawling all over the ground and stuff, and it's pretty humbling. You know, I work professionally as a mechanic for a dealer, and I'm, you know, constantly underneath cars and stuff, and I have access to a lift, and unfortunately I can't really be filming at work. You know, I'm sure there's got to be some sort of liability or insurance reasons or whatever, but anyways, sitting here working, you know, on the ground and crawling around and getting dirty and stuff for these videos, it's fun, but it's humbling. You know, one of my biggest goals is to like have a garage. This unfortunately is not mine, and I very rarely get to work in here the way I'd like. And I don't know, man, these videos are cool and they're fun to make, but hopefully one day, you know, I'll have my own spot, my own little lift or whatever, and jobs like this will be a lot easier and a lot quicker and better filmed, I guess. That's a bad way of putting it. Just better overall, you know. Anyways, just some thoughts, just some rambling at the end of this video. I don't really talk much about my personal life, but it's just kind of funny. This is like the first thing I've really had to like crawl all around the ground and like, you know, really get dirty for so far on the F10. But anyways, hopefully this video helps somebody. Hopefully it was pretty clear and straightforward. It's a really easy little mod to do for your F10. It takes, man, probably like 30 minutes if you like know what you're doing. There's only a couple screws and a couple of clips. You need like 3 tools. It's no biggie. But anyways, hopefully you guys liked it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.